What's up, everyone? It is Saturday, January 21st, 2017, and it's time to go to work on music. And we're coming into the tail end of the month here in January, and just really trying to finish strong and ramp up for this year. It's been a really slow process ramping up. I've been taking it pretty easy, and honestly, it's been nice. It's been really nice. I do have a tendency to push myself pretty hard, and I do like that. I enjoy that a lot. I like challenging myself and doing things that I feel like help me grow. But it's also nice to slow down sometimes and just enjoy the moment, just enjoy life and appreciate all the things that I have and the people in my life who I really care about and love, and just take my time, just take my time doing things, move slowly through the day if I want to, move quickly through the day if I want to, and just avoid stressing myself out too much. So much of the stress in our life is self-imposed. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of it isn't, but a lot of it is, and I think the degree to which we can minimize that is really valuable in just helping us be happier people. But we're here to talk about music, and that does filter into those ideas, I think, because it's easy to kill yourself practicing all the time, and sometimes that's really fun. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna kill this practice session, and it's gonna make me so much better. I mean, that's really fun sometimes, and other times it's nice to be like, you know what, I'm just gonna ease into this session. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll catch a wave and it'll be really intense, or maybe I'll just kind of coast through it, and it's all good. I really am starting to feel like it's all good. Mastery is a process, and if you commit to that process, every day is going to be different, and that's what makes life interesting. If every day were exactly the same, you'd probably go crazy. So it's good to appreciate the variety sometimes and just enjoy that, because if we really are talking about mastery as a process, then you're never going to be done. And if you're only in it for the end goal, then that's going to be pretty frustrating because it may never happen. I'm speaking from someone who's on the path. I haven't reached that level necessarily, although sometimes I feel it's really subjective. But anyway, I've just been thinking a lot about enjoying the process recently, and that's what this channel is really about, is about the process, right? So finding ways to just have fun with that, appreciate the opportunity that we have to work on music. The way society is set up now with division of labor really allows us to pursue things on our own time that maybe wouldn't have been possible if we were farming all our own food and all that stuff. I mean, who knows what that was really like? We probably haven't had to deal with that in modern society unless you live on a farm or grew up in that lifestyle. But to have the time to cultivate your interests and enjoy the process is a really special thing, and to be in a situation where you can take the emotions of your life and the experience of it and maybe turn some things that are really negative into things that are really positive and beautiful via the creative process is a wonderful inspiration and a great opportunity, and it's really worth appreciating. Things like your health, things like your physical safety, things like your basic freedoms of being able to go somewhere and do something when you want to are really powerful, and it's easy to lose perspective on those basic things until you read about someone who's in prison for 30 years, or you read about these war-torn countries where people just can't even live in peace, just raising their family and not worrying about their kids getting hit by a bomb or themselves getting hit by a bomb. I mean, to be in those situations, obviously music has maybe even more power and urgency in those situations where there's desperation and limitation. And we all experience that to some degree in our lives, even if we're fabulously wealthy or, dirt broke or everything in between. I mean, those emotions and sensations, I think, are in many ways inescapable as people, and that just has to do with the nature of the mind. And until we're all enlightened, we're probably going to be feeling that stuff. But to be able to take that stuff and really channel it into something positive and express it and really experience it isn't always fun, but it can be enjoyable, and that's what I'm talking about. That's really what I'm talking about, and that's what I'm talking about when I talk about challenging myself, and that can be fun, and also sometimes cannot be fun, but it can always be enjoyable. So something to think about. Let's get to work. Okay, in the music technology class a bit, we're talking about spectral analysis, which is really interesting. This guy's going deep on the on the minutia, but he explains it in such a simple way. I mean, it's really a cool class. I definitely recommend it. It's just called Survey of Music Technology. It's on Coursera. It's free. Check it out. Um, so yeah, that's really interesting. Basically, he's just talking about how when we hear a note in the real world, it's not just one frequency, like not just one like wave that you can just picture and it's like a static thing. It's like there's all these different waves combining to make the sound of one note in a real instrument. And he's talking about something called timbre, which is like not just the pitch of the note, but how the note actually occurs to the ear. And it's in this unit called psychoacoustics where he's talking about like, yeah, there's real sounds that occur in the world, but there's also the way we interpret them through our ears, and that actually has a major, you know, role to play in what we call music, which is almost painfully obvious, but sometimes exploring those painfully obvious things leads to the most revelatory realizations. So that's been really interesting. And then I'm reading this Michael Beinhorn article where he's claiming that there's been no great popular music made in the last like 10 years or something. And I think it's really interesting. You know, he's arguing that like, you know, why shouldn't we compare like a modern Lady Gaga record to like a old, you know, an older Led Zeppelin record, or like a Hendrix record that just like tore people's minds apart and like changed their lives, you know? And he's like, where is that? And I'm only halfway through the article. I'll finish it on Monday, but he's talking about how there's the same number of talented people. They're just not being forced or required to like elevate their creative capacity to the level where they can create great stuff, which I think is really interesting. And I'll let you guys know how that article pans out. But his blog is also totally free. I mean, there's all these incredible sources of free information out there, and you just need to do a little bit of digging to find them. So I'll post the really good stuff on my Twitter feed for sure. But I'm going to do a little bit of work out of the songwriting harmony book I'm working through right now from Berkeley Press, which is not free, but is almost certainly well worth the 20 something bucks I spent getting the book. Just chock full of knowledge, and I'll share what I get out of that in a sec. All right, good session overall. Kept the drum practice pretty light. And you know, I was thinking about this morning and thinking about it again when I was working on the drum stuff. And sometimes it's better to do fewer things, but do them at a deeper level. Because the way you do one thing is the way that you do everything, which I know is sometimes tough to wrap your mind around, but think about it. If you don't agree, no big deal. But what I've been working on is let me focus on fewer elements in my practice, but let me focus on them more, rather than spreading myself really thin and just trying to cover a wide variety of things. And it's been cool because I've been able to really focus on my technique, focus on my sound, focus on staying relaxed, focus on my experience, focus on my feel. And it's like you only really need one exercise to focus on all of those things. And if you did one exercise and you improved with all of those areas, then you're better. Like, how is that worse than doing 5 exercises? Because sometimes you might do 10 exercises and improve at none of those things. And that's what you want to avoid. Now, of course, if you do 10 exercises and you improve with all those things, maybe that is indeed better than just doing one and improving. But it's just something I'm experimenting with, and I'll keep you guys updated with that. But happy Saturday. Hope you guys are out there grinding towards your goals, making progress, and enjoying the process. And I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good Sunday.